So I'm going to show you guys how to set up one of the Brown Troop 200 tents. I've already taken it out of its bag and unrolled it. So first thing you notice is you'll have this small bag here. This has all of your stakes in it. This stops your tent from flying away in the middle of the night. This longer one is your poles. This is what is the frame of your tent, the skeleton of your tent, and this is what actually builds you your tent. So everything else, this blue thing is your big rain fly. You're going to need that later. That will stop you from getting super soaked in the middle of the night if it rains. The very first thing you need though is this brown the super thin brown sheet. This is your ground tarp. This is what goes underneath your tent. So first thing you do is set this down. Set this down, and the other big thick brown thing that looks like this is your actual physical tent. So what you do is you put your tent right on top of the ground tarp. So now is when we need the poles. So you should have in your pole bag two things that look like this. They just pop into place so it's real easy to set up. They should look like this because this is your door, basically. You're going to walk in through here. Then you'll have your big backbone of the tent, which will go right across the top. Told you earlier, you'll have two of these. So this is the second one. It'll be your other door. And you will have a little bit of extra poles. This will go at the very end of your tent. This will go across the top. The next part, you're going to need a partner, most likely, until you get really good at it. Scott, can you come over here, please? You know how to set this up? Alright, so first thing you're going to do, you're going to walk over to your tent. There will be these two orange little holes. Make sure, because one of them is a tent, one of them is ground tarp. What you do is you make sure the pole, the very tip of the pole goes through both of them, so they're connected and they won't separate in the middle of the night. Do this for both sides. Make sure this brown thing, the pointy part, is facing in towards your tent on both sides, because your middle pole is going to go right here. Alrighty, so once you have that, you're going to want to spread it out and make sure it's all the way. So this is the middle pole. This is what's going to be your skeleton of your tent. The backbone of your tent, as I like to call it. So the way I generally do it, I put it in from one side here. I lean it to the other person. He leans theirs back. Sorry, I lean mine back. He leans his forward. And it snaps right into place. Now there will be these little clips. Clip them on. So this is what builds your tent and actually gives you room inside of your tent. This actually gives you room inside of your tent. So next there will be these little black things over here. You'll see these little two ridges, on one ridge on each side. What you do is you put the black thing on, and underneath the big ridge coming out, and put it on both of the little loops. Alrighty, so I'm going to show you another up-close thing of how to set up this to build your tent more. So you see these little black things? And this little rope, you're going to put it over, under, and over. That is what builds your actual tent. Next you'll have this. This will be right here in the middle. This is my least favorite part of setting it up because it is a little bit tricky. So there'll be these little two little holes to put them in. You put it in one and then lean it so the other person can get it in and it in. This is a little bit tricky. You may need some help. As you can see, even seasoned veterans like us still have difficulty. So once you do that, it will be pretty. So here's an up-close version of how to put on this crossbar right over here on the top. So you see these little black hole things, bags basically. You put it into this side and you do it on both sides. That can be a little bit tricky, so it might take a little while before you can do it. You're supposed to put it over the thing that actually builds your tent. That also does help a lot. See? Once you get it in, alright, so next thing we're going to do is put on our rain fly to stop you from getting wet in the middle of the night. So first thing you do is going to go to the top, look for these little grommets, these little grommets, these little holes, and have a buddy, grab one, you grab the other. So what we want to do is go to the other side of the tent. Well, for demonstration purposes, we're going to go to the other side. What you do is grab the bottom, so it can go over the tent. And you're basically going to throw it over the tent. So these grommets should end up right on top of your tent, right here. So now there's these little clips right here. There's also the same on the bottom of your tent. Try to clip them in the bottom of your tent. So there's two sides of the tent. There's one side that's like this where you enter, and the other side is what we call the vestibule, where you put all of your gear so it doesn't get wet in the middle of the night. So you're going to grab this pole. This should be your only pole left. You're going to grab it, and underneath here, the little ridge where you put all the stuff in, you're going to put that there. And there'll be another one of these little black things you put it into as well.